But, you know, we kind of actually got the first idea for the Open D song was for a good riff or a live show, you know, 5 or 10 minutes, you know, somewhere in there. And so when I first wrote that song, I was like, I gotta shorten it up, but then I was like, screw it, let's let it be what it is, you know.
Nice, nice.
Hope that sounded all right.
I don't know. We'll see when we listen to the recording. It sounded all right in here.
Fantastic.
Sweet, man. So, you know, getting away from the music for a few minutes. We'll get back to it.
Yeah.
My phone's ringing.
You're a busy man.
I'm a busy man. And so, what was I getting at? Oh, yes. Yesterday was, of course, the 10-year anniversary of September 11th.
Yes.
You being a serviceman, that had a lot of direct impact on your life.
It did.
Yeah. Now, were you already in the service when that happened?
No. Actually, well, if you probably remember, I was working for the fire department. Just a couple years out of school. Well, I guess a year only. You know, 9/11, obviously, you know, as a firefighter, it was epic for everybody. And it's actually kind of an interesting question because, you know, yesterday, like you said, it was the anniversary, 10 years. And there were so many shows on, like memorials, you know. And so, pesky. So I watched these shows, and I like watching those shows because I think they focus more on the stories of the people and how people persevered. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot like this, you know, that show about World War II fighter pilots and bombers. I was like, I'm always blown away when you hear about somebody who lived through that or, you know, pulled people out of there, you know, everybody that passed away. So yeah, obviously I think like every American, that was like one of those catalysts. It wasn't until, you know, after 9/11, like I said, I had this job and I started thinking about it real strongly. My brother, actually, 9/11 was his first day of basic training. And I remember talking to him about it. Everybody thought it was a hoax. You know, like they thought, oh, this is just part of the way they're going to screw with us. You know, you're going to war. This is it. And they stopped everything and they watched the footage and actually pulled guys that were from like the city and the, you know, up in PA and they had maybe the Pentagon out. And we're like, you know, we got to find out if you've lost relatives or friends. So it was obviously very real. I stayed and did the fire department thing for another couple of years. You know, 9/11 was a catalyst going to his graduation at Fort Benning when he graduated from infantry school. That was a catalyst. I remember being down there going, you know, in this area there's really no military influence. You don't see it. So going down there and seeing that place, and I was truly, maybe for, you know, one of the first times in my life, I was taken aback by the military and the program they were running, especially there. And I kind of came back from that graduation thinking, holy shit, I'm going to join the Army. You know what I mean? Like I thought I was going to do it for real. But I didn't want to jump into it, you know, and I had a great, tons of support. Not only from my family, but from my brother who was there doing it. He was saying, watch out for this, you know, don't do this, do this, you know. And so when the time came, I had put about 9 or 10 months of thought and research into it and gotten in shape because I was in no Army shit. I didn't want to go there totally roly-poly. So when the time came and I enlisted, I resigned and enlisted and ended up going to Iraq twice, 05, 06 and 07 to 09, which was a 15-month tour, which was long.
Yeah.
To be any place for 15 months. But so yeah, obviously, and like I said, it hits everybody. That's the thing about 9/11 is it, service member or not, I think everybody's like shares the same.
Yeah.
But certainly that was a driving force, I think, for a lot of people. And what they called, you know, when I was in the post 9/11 era of soldiers. You know, the people that sign up and do that after they already know.
Yeah.
You're going to war.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
fight somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's basically the timeline of how it went down, and did just about 6 years, and wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah.
Certainly, a lot of these, you know, the songs I think kind of root there,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll never. I don't want to say never, but I can't see myself writing, you know, an overtly military song about war or death, or, you know,
Yeah.
just, not because it's too close to home, just because I don't want to feel like I'm exploiting that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Certainly, I've got songs with it that's subliminally, like, you know, that I know and maybe some people know, but
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of a songwriter, you know,
Yeah.
and I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to riff songs like that. I just don't.
Yeah.
You know, again, there's a perfect example where, again, if I was a World War II bomber pilot,
Mhm.
I probably wouldn't write a song about that. But
Yeah.
because I wasn't there, I can write a song, at least in
Yeah.
my mind, and feel like it's just out of respect to those guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a tribute, if you will, to say, man,
Definitely.
I did it. But
Definitely. Crazy. So, about those 6 years, what exactly did you do, maybe?
I was in an infantry unit
Mm-hmm.
for about, no, I guess. Actually, Luke and I were stationed together, my brother, down at Fort Campbell in Kentucky, the 101st Airborne.
Mm-hmm.
And after about a year and a half, him and I were both in a reconnaissance unit that's based there in that brigade, and that's where I did actually the majority of my tours overseas, doing reconnaissance and surveillance type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot of, you know, it was kind of a little bit of a different mission, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know,
Yeah.
it's not enough too exciting as far as that goes, you know.
Right on. Well, back to the music. The album's titled Honey Badger.
Yeah, it's gonna be Honey Badger. I think we're sticking with it.
Right on. Right on.
Unless I don't feel like I can get sued by an animal.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Was it inspired at all by the popular YouTube video?
I've gotten that a couple of times, and the Honey Badger Don't Care video.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that when I initially came out with the album title, just because I was such a big fan of the Honey Badger. And they've got all these videos.
Mm-hmm.
The first video I saw, and millions of people have seen it, but he eats that stinking cobra.
Mm-hmm.
And the photographers from Nat Geo or wherever
Uh-huh.
are like, oh my god, he's dead. He's gonna die, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he just takes a nap.
Mm-hmm.
He just knocks him out for a minute. And he gets up and he's like, starts eating it again. I was like, what? That's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Uh-huh.
So I immediately started thinking, like, what kind of things can I associate with a honey badger? And then somebody emailed me or showed me that link about the guy, the video that got dubbed, which obviously was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
So it was somewhere in there at the same time. It wasn't far apart, but the inspiration came from that first video that I just knew the honey badger. There was no parody.
Mm-hmm.
It was just him eating a cobra and going, oh, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was like, you know, I fell in love. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. So, yeah, we went with that, and I think we've got an album cover on, I think, finished up and finalized. And just going to go out into that. And I guess as long as nobody has a problem with it.
I don't think there's any trademark on the Honey Badger
I don't
name.
either.
PETA might be a little upset.
Yeah.
But those guys will get upset about
Yeah,
anything.
they'll get over it.
That's true. How many songs do you think are going to be on the album?
I'm shooting for 11, and I've seriously been, you know, I won't, you know, finalize the order until it's getting ready to ship, but if I have a 12th on there that, you know, strikes
Something,
me,
yeah.
you know, I'll do it. But it's gonna be the cost is gonna be right now if you shoot for is $9.99.